Welcome to my channel and welcome to another coloring in Country Garden book by Teresa Goodrich. I got a request to color something in Teresa's books using polychromos pencils. And first I was quite reluctant because I had already made one attempt to color in Christmas books by Teresa using polychromos, and somehow I was unhappy how they behaved on that paper. They didn't blend well and they even didn't give me very bright color, so very surprisingly for such high quality pencils. But I decided to give them second chance, so maybe that was just my skills. And I selected this page where I have not a very big area of the sky, because in a polychromos set it was always confusing that they don't have any very light blue color. The lightest they have is sky blue, so you can't do very pale blue sky. Their white pencil also isn't very helpful. And also I would love to have something as a very light beige, similar to peach beige or beige sienna from Prismacolor set. Here we also don't have such pencil, which I usually use for the trees when I need to color bark, so I'm a little bit confused. I will try to use instead ivory and a warm gray. And also I don't know how to blend smoothly grass. With my lightest green in the set, it's earth green yellowish or May green, they are almost identical. I still think that we need something lighter, closer to Prismacolor ginger root and pale sage. Well, so it's a challenging picture with only polychromos pencils, but I will try not to cheat. The only Prismacolor pencil which I intend to use is a white. If you don't have it, use a white from Darren Drawing or Darren Color Soft. Anyway, let's start from the sky, and here we need to decide for ourselves where will be this imaginary area between sky behind the tree and where grass will begin. I think that it will be probably somewhere maybe on this level. Don't draw very hard line, but for myself I will indicate it a little bit. So here I will go with blue, and here I will start to work with earth green and yellowish. Here sky blue, and very gently, especially on this bottom part, I will start to put this blue color around flowers, around all those flags. I actually was thinking that maybe to turn it into dark evening, maybe actually it could be a good idea to turn it into evening page, so I can use darker polychromos pencils for the sky. Well, maybe we can do it. So I will need to go and grab other pencils, and with sky blue I will do this lighter area around the lantern. If it's our source of light, then around it we will have this light halo. At least in such a way I will resolve problem with no with the absent a very light blue color for the sky. So let's do here this slightly lighter area where a lantern create area of light around it. And a little bit here, this area between sky and grass. Okay, I will go and grab dark pencil which I can use for the dark evening sky. Maybe, oh, the second lantern, I had covered it with sky blue, so I didn't notice it. Well, that's perfect, we can have two sources of light. Well, we just indicated where will be those halos of light around each of the lanterns, and now we can start to use darker color. Now when I look at this page, I think that maybe I need to do bigger area of the sky, maybe somewhere until this line. Usually I don't like when we have exactly one half of the sky and one half of the ground and grass, but I think that at least until this line maybe it would be beneficial to continue this sky, because I'm still not very confident how I will manage to do grass with these pencils. And color for the sky I do love, so maybe I will continue until this line, but I will do it after tree. My first step on the tree will be to grab cream and to indicate for myself a reflection of light on the tree and on the flags. So we have this light coming from lanterns, and there will be definitely this yellow reflections here, here, for now I simply do it with cream. Later I plan to intensify this yellow with light chrome yellow, but on the first step, before I did brown color for the bark, it would be enough to put a little bit of cream, like a reminder that there will be those reflections. Okay, now when I have this reminder of highlights which I later need to do, I can start to do bark. And as I don't have any beige color, let's try to do more highlighted parts on the bark with ivory and maybe with warm gray. And it's a little bit dirty. Now, after ivory, maybe let's switch to warm gray. There are no particular rule where I want to do this light areas on the bark. Just if light is coming from the right, then this areas they will be closer to the right side of the tree. I simply hope that if I blend my brown colors which I selected for the bark with some additional colors, it will look more interesting and more realistic looking. And after this one, let's grab my main color for the tree. It will be Nougat. I try to blend it with previous colors, and I have to be careful not to cover those cream areas to be able later to add more intense yellow, like here or here. Here I use Nougat as a shading color for the areas where I put warm gray, ivory and green, but here Nougat will be the lightest color because I also intend to add maybe wanted brown, maybe walnut brown. You know that bark usually has this uneven pattern, just as areas of darker and lighter brown, and that's what I do here. First I surround my previous area of warm gray and ivory with this Nougat, and later I will add darker brown color here along the left side of the tree trunk. And because it's evening, we have quite strong shadows, so there have to be big difference between highlighted and shadow areas. Well, let's test which one we can work. One dark brown, oh, walnut. Actually not bad. So one dark brown. I don't think that we need to do a particularly visible pattern on the bark. During night or evening you can't see a lot of details in such light where we have only lanterns. But I want to work on the shadows and contrast. So I want to have quite a good shadow along the left side of the tree trunk. And I need to think about shadows from all these flags. Here and here. The farther we are from the source of light, the darker will be the color of the wood here. Well, I don't know. I have prepared a warm gray 5, but maybe I don't need it here. I can say that it makes bark color much more interesting. Maybe let's go to my final color. It will be dark sepia, and I simply need it here behind the armchair to show better the shadow. Well, let's try how our light chrome yellow can look here if we gently add it on top of the areas which I previously colored with cream. So just slightly more intense yellow. Well, I think that for now it will be enough. So, as I promised, I will grab which one? Maybe cobalt blue. I will sharpen it and I will proceed with the sky. This flower definitely looks strange. It's not like bush, it doesn't have many leaves and it has strange shape. But I hope that later I will be able to improve it with Posca pens. I am very tempted to cover these butterflies, which I don't like. I hope that it wasn't the stupidest decision. Well, something like this. And next I have to color grass. I think that I will start with earth green, and I want to do a very soft transition from sky into grass and ground. To make this impression like we can't see that area very clearly. That's something in the dusk, in darkness. And let's continue. That's in the trend. I try to blend them as softly as possible to make this smooth transition from sky to the area of ground. Some shadows here between all those flowers, bouquet and rose bush. Okay, so now I can more easily continue with earth green. I try to be quite light-handed because here I plan to blend it a little bit with earth green yellowish to show that from these lanterns there will be reflections also on the grass, but beneath all these flowers and standing chairs, armchairs, there will be also quite dark shadows. So this one I use as a basic color where I will be adding other green colors. Good thing is that in polychroma set I have nice variety of greens, so we can try to blend them for this area and to get more realistic grass. Let's try to add a little bit of earth green yellowish. And as the darkest color here, I intend to use chrome oxide green. First, I can use it with very light pressure to blend with previous earth green and earth green yellowish. And then somewhere I can use it with more pressure to actually draw leaves, stamens, grass. I can't say that I like what I got here. With Prismacolors it would be better, but I do what I can. Still, definitely not my best choice. If I would have a choice to use polychromos or Prismacolors, I think that Prismacolors gives you better results simply by how they blend this paper. Still bothers me how we have totally different this part of background and this one, but I think that when I do leaves on the tree it will look more well balanced. So with earth green I will put a little bit of color here, but mostly I intend to use here earth green yellowish. I will try to put earth green yellowish with light pressure. Don't want to have a very intense color during night and evening time usually colors are more muted, so we can't expect them to be as bright as under the sunshine. When I go to the sides, I can press a little bit harder on Earth Green. It's by itself quite a light pencil, so I won't be able to get much more intensity of color here, but still we can try. Well, I guess that I can switch to chrome oxide green again. Maybe I can also will use it for the leaves. I want to shade these sides of the picture. So you know that I love to do dark corners. It creates some additional frame to the picture. And of course I have to remember about very deep shadow beneath those armchairs. But first let's work more on the grass, because now it looks awful, honestly. I really want to try to add a little bit of industry here in shadows. I also have chromium green opaque here, and it could be a good color for shadows beneath chairs and table, especially blended with dark sepia. But somehow here it gives quite a light color. Okay, so let's try to blend it a little bit with dark sepia. Here, directly beneath the table. Part of the chair. And now I will cover this area with chromium green opaque. I don't even mind to add a little bit of black to the shadows. Again, because we have a night time, so shadows have to be really dark. If you ask me if I like it, my answer would be no. I don't like how they blend on this paper, and I crave to grab something like ginger root or sap green light from Prismacolor and to go over the whole area, because I do love a very smooth, a very butterly blended look. So when you don't have any white spots left on the paper and where everything is very nicely blended on grass. So that's why I would prefer to blend on top of it with Prismacolor. But if we decided to experiment, well, let's continue. If I don't like it in the end, I can always cheat and grab Prismacolor pencil. But for the sake of experiment, for now, I will try to work only with polychromos. Because I do accept that maybe that's just my way of coloring when I am too eager to press hard on pencils, when I can't color slowly by layering them. Maybe that's the problem, not how these pencils behave on this paper. Well, I think that next I will try to work better on the leaves of the tree and on this bush on the side. I'm still with chromium green opaque, and I still try to blend one color into another more smoothly, to get this impression that sides are darker and to the center, closer to the central part, we have more highlighted area on this clone. And I do love when on grass we have many similar shades of green blended. So slightly more yellowish like chromium green opaque or earth green yellowish, more classical green like juniper or chromium oxide green. So I love to blend a lot of colors. So our green and grass and leaves, they will have a variety of green colors. Now let me grab earth green yellowish and I will start to color tips of the leaves. And maybe a little bit here also. Let me sharpen it a little bit and then we will do leaves. And it's okay for me that they partly match color of the grass behind them. It's not a very important element of the page, so if it blends into background green color, that's still okay. I think that much more important are those chairs and flowers and a table here. So I will use the same green colors as for the background. If you can recognize this bush a little bit, then it's okay. But definitely I don't need new colors here. As a second color, I think that I will use chrome oxide green. Yes, I think that that's exactly what I need. So let's finish all these leaves with this color palette and probably leaves on the tree also, maybe just with slightly smaller amount of earth green yellowish and bigger amount of chrome oxide green. When I combine them, I will try to use bigger amount of chrome oxide green when I color leaves of the tree. It's possible to do branches. Yes, it's still possible. That's good. So paper isn't burnished yet. Okay, let's do it.